Alright, let's get right into it. The big question after the Trump-Putin summit in Alaska: who actually walked away with the upper hand? On the surface, it looked like classic diplomatic theater. Handshakes, red carpets, a presidential motorcade, and even U.S. fighter jets doing a flyover. So why did Trump push for this high-stakes Alaska summit in the first place? Publicly, he played the role of the peacemaker, telling crowds and reporters that he was determined to end the bloodshed in Ukraine and bring Russia back to the negotiating table. Clips of Trump at rallies and press conferences show him promising that only strong leadership can deliver peace, and vowing to stop what he called senseless conflict. But there's more to it than just lofty rhetoric. Behind the scenes, Trump's team saw a unique opportunity. If he could broker even a hint of progress between Ukraine and Russia, it would cement his legacy as a dealmaker, someone who could do what no other president had managed. News headlines blared about his bold peace initiative, while images of diplomatic meetings flashed across screens worldwide. Of course, there were political calculations too. With an election looming, Trump knew that pulling off a headline-grabbing summit could boost his standing at home, showing voters he was tough enough to stand up to Putin, but savvy enough to keep America out of another war. And let's not forget the symbolism. Hosting the summit on U.S. soil, with all the trappings of power, was Trump's way of signaling that America was back in the driver's seat of global diplomacy. But beneath the official narrative, analysts whispered about deeper strategic interests. Was Trump hoping to reset relations with Moscow for economic gain, or to shift the narrative away from domestic controversies? Whatever the mix of motives, one thing was clear: the Alaska summit wasn't just about peace, it was about legacy, leverage, and the global spotlight. But beneath all that pageantry, something much more significant was happening. And honestly, the winner was pretty clear. I want you to picture this: Vladimir Putin grinning out the window of the Beast, the ultra-secure U.S. presidential limo, after being welcomed in true VIP style on American soil. After years of being sidelined by the West, Putin's isolation was over the very moment his plane touched down in Anchorage. Russian officials were literally gloating. For Putin, the trip to Alaska wasn't just another meeting. It was a signal to the world. He was back in the diplomatic game, welcomed by none other than the President of the United States. And he did it all without making a single meaningful concession. Now let's talk about Ukraine, because that's where the real stakes are. When Trump was on his way to Alaska, he said his goal was a ceasefire. By the time the summit ended, that talk had vanished. Instead, Trump played down the need for a truce and made it clear he wasn't planning to squeeze Russia economically anymore. His words: "Because of what happened today, I think I don't have to think about that. That's a serious shift." What did Putin walk away with? Time, arguably the most precious thing for him right now. Russian advances in Ukraine are measured in weeks, and with every day that passes without tougher Western action, Moscow's position gets stronger. Trump's biggest favor to Putin? Giving him the breathing room to keep pushing in Ukraine without fearing the kind of harsh consequences the U.S. had threatened before. What about actual results from the summit? Well, there weren't any concrete deals. No agreement on peace, no truce, nothing that changes the facts on the ground. Both leaders said they made great progress, but if you read between the lines, that just means the status quo holds. The root causes of the war remain the same. Putin's position? Unchanged. Meanwhile, the details of the summit were accidentally left behind, literally. Sensitive government documents, meeting times, phone numbers, the works, just lying around in an Alaskan hotel business center. Even the lunch was off, though it was supposed to be a filet mignon and halibut kind of affair. Instead, what Putin got was far more valuable: global legitimacy, and a chance to keep his Ukraine strategy rolling. So, who's the real winner of the Alaska summit? In the short term at least, it's Vladimir Putin, no question about it. He got the optics of a world leader restored to the diplomatic fold, escaped new punishments, and bought crucial time for Russia's war in Ukraine, all while giving up absolutely nothing in return. Now, whether that holds up long-term is anyone's guess. But for now, when it comes to the power play in Alaska, Putin's the one driving away with a smile. The summit's official talks may have ended, but the real spectacle unfolds as Vladimir Putin and Donald Trump step up to face the world's press. Cameras flash as the two leaders approach the podium. Putin calm and composed, hands folded in front of him, eyes scanning the room with practiced ease. He answers questions in measured tones, his posture unyielding, as if every inquiry is simply another chess move. When asked about Ukraine, he deflects with diplomatic language, maintaining a steady gaze and the faintest hint of a smile. Trump, by contrast, is animated. He gestures broadly, his voice rising, his voice falling with emphasis. He leans forward, pointing at reporters, occasionally interrupting questions to clarify his own points. When pressed about shifting U.S. policy, Trump doubles down, insisting that his approach is about making deals, not wars. His tone is forceful, sometimes combative, but always confident. The media picks up on the contrast. Journalists jot notes, some exchanging glances. Putin's reserved answers clash with Trump's bombast. Close-ups reveal skeptical eyebrows, quick side conversations, and the relentless clicking of camera shutters. Some questions go unanswered, others spark applause or murmurs. In the end, the press conference becomes a microcosm of the summit itself. Putin's cool control versus Trump's unpredictable energy. And as the leaders exit the stage, the world is left to interpret not just their words, but the power dynamics on full display. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe for more updates.